Could this Japanese pitcher be exactly what the Red Sox are looking for? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbett. It's no secret this offseason for the Red Sox should be about targeting starting pitching, right? I think ideally a lot of Red Sox fans want to come into 2024 with multiple starting pitching signings that really bolster this rotation and bring it into a spot where this rotation could be a legit competitor in Major League Baseball. Now, there are a couple of ways the Red Sox could go about this, right? One of the ways is via trade. Another way is via free agents from the MLB market. But another way the Red Sox could bolster this rotation is to look towards the international market. Now, right now, there is one Japanese pitcher that is on everyone's mind, and that is a guy by the name of Yamamoto, who is currently one of, if not the best starting pitchers from the Japanese Professional Baseball League. But there's another pitcher that just got announced as being available for the 2024 offseason that could be a really under the radar pick for the Boston Red Sox. So what we're going to do in today's video is we're going to break down this new announced pitcher. We're going to talk about who they are, how they play, and why they could be a good fit for the Boston Red Sox. Plus, we're going to talk about why the Red Sox may be interested in signing him. But before we get into that, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. On Wednesday of this week, just a couple of days ago, it was officially confirmed that left-handed starting pitcher Shōta Imanaga was going to be posted for MLB free agency and was going to be allowed to make the jump from Japanese professional baseball to Major League Baseball. Now, some of you guys may actually recognize this name right off the bat before we get into what he's done in Japanese professional baseball, and that's because he was on Japan's WBC team as they fought for a World Baseball Championship, and in fact, he did start the championship game for Japan against the United States, where he went 2 innings and allowed 1 earned run. But outside of just his WBC accomplishments, Shota's been putting together a really fantastic professional career in Japanese baseball. So far, the 30-year-old has spent 8 seasons in Japanese professional baseball, where he's put together a really great career. He currently has a 2.97 ERA over 189 games. He also has a barely over 1 whip at 1.073 and a really nice walk rate of just 2.4 per 9 with a K rate of 9.4. His last 2 years specifically has been where Shota has really shined. He threw a no-hitter just a couple of years ago, and on top of that too, last year Shota had a 2.04 ERA in 24 games with a really impressive 1.8 walks per 9 and an 8.6 K per 9. He also had a below 1 whip of just 0.901. For those of you who may not know what whip is, it's walks and hits per inning pitched. That means basically what we're saying here is that for every inning Shota pitched, he let up less than 1 hit or 1 walk. Now in 2023, he's also putting together a nice career year. He has a 2.65 ERA with a smaller 1.4 walks per 9 than he did in 2022 and a higher 10.7 strikeouts per 9, which has led to his career high in a strikeout to walk ratio, which is currently sitting at 8.21. Basically, what that means is that every time Shota walks a batter, he strikes out 8 in between. So basically, it's 1 walk and then 8 plus strikeouts and then another walk, which is a really impressive statistic to have. It shows a lot about his command and the way he pitches, which we'll get into in a second. On top of that too, this year Shota also had a really great whip, again under 1 at 0.993. Basically, what I'm saying here is he's not allowing a lot of traffic, he's not walking a lot of batters, and he's getting a pretty decent amount of strikeouts as well. Clearly, the obvious sort of stick out stat here is that Shota does not walk a ton of batters. A lot of that has to do with his pitch arsenal. Now, Shota doesn't exactly have a completely overpowering velocity type stuff. His fastball sits around 91 to 94 miles an hour. So instead of just straight overpowering, what Shota relies on a lot is his command. He uses all 4 quadrants of the strike zone really well to keep hitters off balance and keep hitters from making really solid contact consistently with his fastball. Now, his fastball is interesting because while he does have good command, even his misses are pretty well. One scout even talked about during his no-hitter game that when Shota was missing, he wasn't missing down the middle or really easily in the zone. What he was doing was he was missing, say it was a pitch that was low and in, it was supposed to hit the bottom right-hand corner of the strike zone, he would miss and it would be the upper left-hand corner of the strike zone, right? It would never be sort of of dead down the middle, which is a really great sign, especially with a guy who's not throwing super hard. Now, on top of just a fastball, Shota also has a cutter, which scouts call a cutter slider hybrid because of the way it moves. But on top of that too, he's very good at hiding his delivery with this cutter and his grip, so it makes it difficult for hitters to pick up on. And with that movement and his ability to locate, he gets a ton of swing and miss on this cutter. Now, on top of that, he also does have some off-speed pitches as well. This one's a little bit of an interesting one in his third pitch, right? It's considered a splitter, but it moves a lot like a changeup. He also has a curveball on top of that, and those are his two put-out pitches. In terms of his sort of pitch tunneling and the way he utilizes these off-speed pitches, is a lot of what he does is he throws a lot of up and in fastballs or a lot of low and away fastballs, and then he drops in these splitter type pitches or the curveball type pitches, and he gets a lot of swing and misses on that sort of pitch tunneling. So that's sort of how Shota has utilized his pitch arsenal, and the fact that he doesn't throw super high velocity pitches to get a lot of swing and misses. Now, one of the big things scouts realize with Shota is that he's not looking essentially for that swing and miss, right? He's looking to generate weak contact, and that's a lot of his game. A lot of his game is generating weak contact, ground balls, crappy pop-ups, stuff like that, and it's been really successful in Japanese baseball. Again, he threw that no-hitter. He also has made multiple all-star teams, and he's considered the ace of his current team, even with guys like Trevor Bauer being on that team. So yeah, the combination of very little walks, weak contact, and pretty decent swing and miss rate has allowed Shota to become one of the best pitchers in Japanese baseball. But the big question here is, why would the Red Sox be interested, and would he be a good fit with this Red Sox team? I think when we're talking about why the Red Sox could be interested in Shota, it's because of the fact that the Red Sox really desperately need a sort of workhorse 2 or 3 type pitcher, right? You've got Brayan Bello, who has been fantastic for you. He looks like a guy who at the bare minimum is your number 2 pitcher in a couple of years, but you also don't want to put that pressure on him to be the number 1, the number 2 going into 2024 in a year where you want to compete, right? Bringing in Shota could be exactly what the Red Sox need to fill that sort of 2-3 role where you are a workhorse type pitcher and are also going to put up pretty decent statistics. One thing we did not mention when we were talking about Shota's statistics is the fact that every single game this season he's averaged about 6 2/3 innings. That's something that the Red Sox could desperately use, right? It feels like not a lot of our starting pitchers this year, if any, are really known for going deep into games. Shota can do that while also giving you the production that we saw in Japan. Now, obviously, the difference between Japanese baseball and Major League Baseball is still there, and it's going to be a bit of an adjustment for Shota, but if he can come in and be similar to what we saw in Japanese baseball, he could be a great option for your 2 or your 3. So to me, it makes a lot of sense why the Boston Red Sox would be interested in a guy like Shota. Another reason why the Boston Red Sox could be interested in Shota's services is because of the fact that his contract may not be as expensive as some of these guys who've already pitched in Major League Baseball. Shota's coming into Major League Baseball a little bit older at age 30, right? He's had similar statistics, and he's at the same age to Kodai Senga, who over this last offseason came over to Major League Baseball and signed a 5-year, $75 million deal with the New York Mets. Now, that's probably right around what you're looking for when you're looking at Shota's contract, which is at 5 years, $75 million. So not only would he be a really great piece in the middle of this rotation, but he wouldn't be as expensive as some of the other options available on the free agent market. Now, of course, you also have to include a posting fee on top of that to get Shota to your team. For a 5-year, $75 million deal, you're probably looking at around $12.1-ish million to get Shota onto the Boston Red Sox. But again, once he's here, you don't have to pay that fee every year. It's a one-time fee, and Shota can continue to develop and grow within this Red Sox rotation. Now, to be honest with you, I think the Red Sox are going to need more than Shota this offseason. I think they really need to focus on getting a frontline number 1 ace caliber starting pitcher, maybe not even an ace caliber pitcher, but a guy who you know can sit at the top of your rotation and be a guy who's going to get a lot of wins, a lot of strikeouts, and a really low ERA. A guy like Blake Snell, like Yamamoto, like Aaron Nola, right? Those type of players where you're giving them big money to be a big time starting pitcher. I don't think Shota's quite in that category, and I think you're going to need a little bit of both here, right? I think you're going to need that star power at the top of your rotation. I think you're going to need another guy to sort of be your workhorse in this rotation rotation. I think Shota can be that guy. Would I be disappointed if Shota was the only person the Red Sox targeted this offseason? Yes, but as a complementary piece to a big signing like a Nola, like a Snell, like a Yamamoto, Shota could be that perfect addition. Because again, right, if you put him into the 3 spot in this rotation, you have Snell, Yamamoto, Nola at 1, Bayo at 2, and then Shota at 3. You're getting a guy who's going to be a little bit of a crafty pitcher. He's going to generate a lot of weak contact. He's a guy who's not going to walk a lot of hitters. And on top of that too, he's going to be your workhorse. He's going to go deep into games. He's going to allow you to utilize your bullpen a little bit easier. He's going to take some pressure off the manager. He's going to take some pressure off the bullpen. And he's going to be a guy who every 5th day you can rely on to not only go deep into games, but keep you in games. And I think that's super important for the Boston Red Sox. And again, when we're talking about the workhorse of this team, it's been a little bit since we've had a legitimate, really good one, right? It's been, I think, Rick Porcello or maybe Eduardo Rodriguez was the last true sort of workhorse number 3 the Red Sox have had. And it's really vital to a rotation, something the Red Sox have been missing all of 2023. So while I don't think Shota should be your sort of main dish signing this offseason, I think he could be a really good complementary side piece to whoever the Red Sox sign. Again, I don't think he should be the main target, but I think he's someone the Red Sox should be interested in. Now, I haven't really seen anything about the Red Sox scouting him or expressing interest right now, but what we do know about the Boston Red Sox is that they are very active in the Japanese market. We've seen it in the past. We saw it this last offseason with Masataka Yoshida, right? It would surprise me a whole lot if the Red Sox haven't at least looked into this guy, because I think, again, he could be really beneficial to the Boston Red Sox. And with everything we've seen from the Red Sox in the Japanese market, there is no doubt in my mind the Red Sox have checked this guy out, and he's at the very least on their list of potential candidates. Now, again, in my opinion, I think he could be a really great signing. I don't think this is someone you're going to sign for a very long time, right? The differences between him and Yamamoto are pretty big, right? Yamamoto's 5 years younger. He's posted much better statistics. Yamamoto's a guy who could sit at the front of your rotation. Shota, in my opinion, is a guy you signed for a couple of years. He's your workhorse in the middle of your rotation. He's a guy who you can rely on to at least keep these games close, right? And I think, again, that has value for the Red Sox. It has value for a lot of major league teams, but specifically the Red Sox, who have struggled a lot. So in my opinion, I really like Shota, and I think he could be an interesting choice for the Red Sox as we move closer to free agency. But that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think of Shota? What do you think of his ability? What do you think of his statistics? What do you think of his age and contract potential? What do you think of the Red Sox targeting Shota in the comment section down below? As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.